Good coffee to start the morning.
Good
Good
coffee
coffee to start the
combo, start of the
coffee
morning.
talk. So, Card, I was thinking about this the other day, and I kind of had a hard time really pointing to a specific answer for this question. So, I was wondering maybe like you have a better answer than I do. What is your earliest memory of our friendship? Kind of just came to me.
Mm,
I could talk about mine now, but I can't really even remember a specific memory. I remember seeing you with like summer basketball, but I don't think we interacted too much at that
yeah.
point. I just the only thing I could remember was first day of school, seventh grade, was just walking into like all my different classes, first time ever, Yolani, walking into each of my classes and probably at least half or more than half seeing that you were in the class. And I couldn't like remember thinking this, but I'm sure I was thinking either this guy is gonna be my best friend or this guy might be my arch nemesis, like the way things are
Yeah.
looking.
The way things are shaping up based on the
Yeah.
schedules.
Based on the schedules, it's one or the other, and we're gonna find out real soon. But I couldn't even think of like a specific memory, so I wanted to kind of like pose it to you if you kind of can remember like any one memory.
Likewise, I can't really remember or think about a specific moment. But yeah, I remember like what you look like. That's all I see in my head is I remember what you look like seventh grade, and you had the smile, and you just kind of good vibes and there for the vibes. I think that's what made you so approachable.
Mm,
Because I can imagine being in seventh grade and like being in upper school and just coming in fresh like that. Like for us, that was a big jump, just going from like lower school to upper school. So we were like
mm,
even feeling a little nervous for the having some seventh grade jitters. That's how Yulani split it up is K through 6 and then 7 through 12. Basically, it was like upper school. It's like a different campus. So I came in kind of nervous, but we knew people. I knew people in classes, so I think to see like the new faces was something exciting for me too. At a point, I was not necessarily like bored with like the class already, like the same guys I've seen, but I was just excited about the promise of like potential new connections, like friends,
New friends.
new people you can hang out with and everything. So I was kind of more stoked about that. I know some other people were more
Yeah.
protective about like the OGs, and they're like,
Dude,
"Bro,
that's
you
what
can't
exactly what I
all
was
these."
about to say. I was like, bro, you must be like the rare breed because I feel most of the people were more on the side of oh, like we're protective over our friends and stuff like that. So because that's what I remember. I remember coming in and trying to like kind of meet people, but people are almost kind of giving you like just kind of like half, half of
I
it and
know it's
stuff. And
tough, bro. Yeah.
yeah, but no, bro, that's
But no,
why
we have a lot of like core moments I think in our
mhm,
friendship. Like one being the hike that your mom took us on, Monowheelie.
yeah.
That like some of the early sleepovers, us going to movies with like your pops and stuff. We think we watch Hunger
Oh
Games,
yeah,
like in
yeah.
the front row, like opening night
Yep.
with with Uncle Scotty and my mom. Kama I
Hmm.
think was there too.
Yep, Kamo. Yep, Kamo was there too.
So there's like those highlighted moments like early that I remember of us.
Hmm.
Not too many. Yeah, I remember like some basketball things for sure. I can't boil it down to like a very specific moment. I just kind of remember you like being all happy. You're skinny guy. Like
Hmm.
you always had the
I was
smile
real
on
skinny
though,
back
wearing
then too.
yeah wearing your collared shirt and everything. Like you just brought good vibes, and I think I just noticed that. So I was like, oh yeah, like, and then I think I don't
Hmm.
even know how we started talking.
I couldn't remember a specific moment, but I'm sure because I know it was really Latin class that probably really brought us together. I mean, we got in so much trouble that in that one class and stuff, and
Yeah.
it was really just because we like couldn't stop like joking around and just talking to each other the whole class. But I remember that even like study hall, like those were like the two like classes that I feel like we really got to know each other and almost build a level of connection and trust and all that. But I couldn't remember a specific
Also,
conversation or
the
anything. Some good,
Yeah, because it
yeah.
became clear that like I think early on in the classes, like who would kind of like went along with the jokes, like kind of the Goonie vibes, who would like be laughing and like
Mhm.
chuckling around. I wouldn't say we were like necessarily like troublemakers, or
No,
were
no, no,
we?
no. Nah, I
No,
wouldn't say so. We were just more so
we're just painted as such, like by other
yeah, yeah, yeah.
guys, just because they needed to have someone to like point at.
Point
I
of
mean, some
point of
boys were
finger at.
actually troublemakers.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. No,
but
we weren't really troublemakers. I think it was one of those things that, it was almost like the honeymoon phase for our friendship where, like we just couldn't get enough of each other. And so like when when
yeah.
we were in the same class, it was just a lot of talking. It wasn't even anything bad. I don't remember doing anything, yeah, like troublemaker. It
And then it
really
kind of progressed during like Dr. Z and stuff, and then he was surprised to see that I had a girlfriend come high school because he thought
no way.
because
No
he
way.
thought I might have swung the other way. Well, apparently, or because we come into class and I think it was around eighth or ninth
Yeah.
grade,
8th or ninth grade, yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'd just be like slapping ass, dude. Like,
Did he
well,
say
I
that?
no,
Did he say like he thought me and you were a thing or something?
maybe not a thing, but he maybe thought I had a tendency to. I think
Swing the other
because
way.
during it was basically during every presentation, during every because he used to. I mean, Dr. Z was super impactful in terms of like sparking the whole,
Mhm.
storytelling video. Like he just brought that freedom and creative flexibility just to like the English space, really.
Mhm.
So like he's super impactful for me, honestly. But he let us do like our own iterations of projects, right, and plays, and then
Mhm.
we do like I think we had to recite something from Shakespeare, right? Do you remember that clip?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that the one that we did,
with
with
Chala
Chala
and
and Joff?
yeah, and Joff, and then we did the opening consolidated theater.
Theater.
That's where we first thought the
Yep.
consolidated theater thing. But then during that whole thing, I think it was like you and me playing like it was like Romeo and Juliet or something. And like to show affection, like in front of class too. We were presenting in front of class. I think we like did the hug, grab ass, and then like
Grab ass. I remember that actually. I remember
yeah. So I think it
that.
was around that moment where Doctor says, "Okay, like these boys," but
I was gonna say about that class. Do you remember the vocab video that we made?
I mean that was, dude, that's such a crucial like a moment to me, that vocab
Mm,
video,
yeah,
because that really
100%.
no that
We got
one hundred
100% on that
percent
thing.
we swept it.
Dude.
That really opened up everything. And we were
Yeah.
thinking we had zero experience in terms of like
Mm-mm.
video making,
No.
storytelling. And we were throwing in shots like we were throwing in like shadow shots and shit,
Yeah. Yeah, like
or
the
like
feet.
or
I remember
the
like
feet.
foot shots, like Quentin Tarantino,
We were
like
doing
feet
like
shots.
action. We were doing fight scenes. Like
Yeah.
we were doing like close ups, plot
Mhm.
twists, like magic,
Mhm.
like cat make you turning into Cam, like different stuff like that.
Dude.
Whoa, who the hell are you?
I'm Makuna from the future. I'm you.
A lot of the humor was inspired by like Wayne's World and stuff like that at the time. I think.
Yeah.
No, that was fun. I mean, that was no
Legendary.
that video remains, yeah, like super integral
Mhm.
to everything.
'Cause I remember after that video, that's when we started to do the YouTube, making YouTube videos and,
Yeah,
that it really did start to, like, ignite a lot of stuff following that.
yeah. That's why I do give credit to Dr. Z for just
Yeah, totally.
allowing an opportunity to do something on video format. I mean, and we were lucky too that the school gave us iPads to play
Yeah,
around with
yeah,
and iMovie.
yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it, we always love to just talk story and like come up with these hypothetical like
Mhm.
imagined situations and just thought it was
Yep.
like hilarious. And
Yep.
then not only that, yeah, and then we ended up doing like lip sync and everything. And then
Yeah.
CM squared was, now that I think back to CM squared, it's just like a random blip just in
Yeah.
like on my life or in our lives. I feel it's just like I can't believe we did that. I'm super proud of it.
Legendary though, bro.
Super
Legendary.
proud of it.
Yeah,
Like
so good.
I think back to those times like that might have been my peak creativity. Or
Yeah,
like that might have been
yeah.
our like peak being we're on stage. Like we were
Mhm.
we were kind of out showing some of the best singers in our grade, I'd say.
No, I mean, we were the best show, like, at the luau's for sure, and I guess
Yeah,
for
maybe
people
not the
who
most talented,
no, 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 no.
hands down the most entertaining thing
Yeah,
you'd see
yeah, yo,
in
it
the
was the
night.
greatest show. It was the greatest
Yeah.
show.
And to see the progression from junior junior to senior
Oh,
year
yeah.
too, that it was a big difference.
Huge
So
jump
that
there,
was,
bro.
yeah, a huge jump. big jump in confidence. Yeah.
Hmm. And I mean, for people who don't know what CM Squared is, pretty much me, Carter, and then my roommate here, Matt, we had a little acapella group, I guess you could say, but we would only perform once a year at our grades luau. So juniors, senior luau, we would put on a performance. And the first year was like all reggae based songs being, and we would mash them together, and we would kind of like almost weave a story through with like different songs and everything.
Well, yeah,
Um,
it started because actually M and I during like after D2 basketball practice, we'd be like in the shower
yeah.
in the open vat like showers where there's just you're just like standing next to each other. And then we just started I guess during that time we started like I think that's when the trend like started when we was young, you and I, my
Well,
boo.
that was senior year. Senior year, we that's the
Oh,
route we went. Junior year, you guys went the they don't know about our
about our
love.
love. Oh, Ellie Mac. So we started
No, no, no.
we would always like try to imitate the voices of the reggae singers, and then I think one time we just wanted to try to remix something or try to like transition one song into another
Into
song.
another.
So we started building it slightly, and then I think at benches we introduced it to like you or something, Mox, and yeah,
Mhm.
obviously you're immediately bought in.
I was
Like you're
bought
just
in.
you're 110 in. Like as soon as you
Yeah.
did like the first transition, I think
I was like, oh
you're like,
man,
oh
this is
that
something.
like please, like
This
I'd
is
love to be a
something.
part of yeah, I'd love to be a part of this.
I'm in. I'm in.
And I don't know how you even because we would kind of have brainstorming sessions like in the locker room post basketball
Mhm.
practice. But then I think I don't even know because you weren't even on like on the team at the
Mm-mm.
time. So I don't know if you just cruise with it or we just go we would have sessions after school like on the
It was
senior
we
benches.
well,
Sorry,
so
not even
this
senior
was
benches. Oh my
yeah, it
gosh,
was
this was
junior
junior.
year. So what I remember is junior year, like right after lunch, we would go be in the cafeteria, and then right after lunch, while we are waiting for class, we would go sit at that one little rectangular bench spot right in front of Weinberg Snack Bar. That was like almost like the hangout spot for our group before we all dispersed to class. Like that type of high school grind that we were on. But I remember it was there that I would pretty much be like, or you guys would present what you guys have added, and then I would try to learn it, and I was like, they don't know. You guys were kind of like coaching me up, like, and
They
we then
have been
and like I would try to like give ideas about what could be next and everything, but it was really you and Matt really piecing it together in the locker room, and then us like you guys teaching me it during lunch, and then I don't even know whose choice it was or decision to do the luau and sign up for the talent show, because I don't like that wasn't ever
yeah,
the
that was
intention
a
when we were
huge
starting.
step
Yeah,
because we had not performed this
yeah,
in front of anyone.
no, no,
We were just in the solitude of
yeah.
our own like circle.
And we
But
wanted to kind of keep it under the wrap so people didn't know what we were going to come up on the stage and do.
yeah,
We wanted to be
I
almost
do
a
remember
surprise for
now
everybody.
a big inspiration during this time was pentatonics.
Yep, yep.
So just the whole acapella idea and mashing
Hmm.
acapella mashups. Pitch Perfect was even
Pitch
big
perfect.
for us
Yep,
growing up as well. So
yep.
I think that's where we drew from too.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know how we got the gig for the luau or who signed it up. Might have been
I think they
Aaron or
were,
something.
yeah, I think they were
Yeah.
looking for people, like more people to do the talent show.
And
And
then like they just mentioned it, and then we were mentioning like, well, I mean, we
well,
do have like
we
a
actually have something.
yeah,
We actually have something. I think it was Zach Yamada, because Zach Yamada was one of the chairs for the luau. And so I remember he was talking about it with me, and I probably told him like, hey, like, we actually got something, me, Carter, Matt. I remember that before that first luau, we were just so nervous. Like all three of
super
us were,
nervous.
dude, like like
Like,
stomach
why are we doing?
turning.
Like, what are
Yeah.
we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing? How you been though, bro?
No,
What you been
pretty
up to
good.
this past week?
Yeah, pretty good. But yesterday I went on a little run with Dill over to this like there was just like this puppy yoga thing happening at this
Ooh.
platform area in the grass area, and then they had like
Mm.
this shelter, rescue shelter. Like they brought some puppies over, so they're like super cute. Like they're trying to get people to adopt and everything. We got some healthy lunch, and then I was pretty stuffed. I was like pretty, you know,
Mhm.
ready to go. And the idea got brought up to get boba. You want to get some boba for the
Oof.
walk back. And then I was like, I mean, yeah, there's always room for
Yeah.
boba. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's always room for boba.
Always.
So that's kind of the duo I kind of want to bring up today.
Sick.
So the one thing I feel like that's always room for after lunch, dessert, like a meal. I mean, like when you're stuff, and like luckily so, like blessed to even be in a position where you can like I don't know be that full at some points, like
Yeah.
all you can eat or whatever.
True that.
Super grateful, but there's always for some reason I don't know if it's just for me, I don't know if it's for you, but it seems like in our shared experience as well, there's always extra space for boba
For some
specifically
boba. Yep.
even versus like other desserts. But there's always room for boba. And yeah, I was
Amen
wondering
to that.
why. I was kind of wondering why, because every time you used to come down here and visit, all the boys like Jess and I too, and we'd go out and we'd be like hitting the brewery, have a full meal, drinking beers,
Hmm.
and then after we'd be like, so what?
Yeah, it's like hey, boba.
We'll get
So
some,
that
some
boba.
boba. Like no, I'm game.
Yeah.
Like I'm game.
Yep.
And we all
Yep.
go and hit the boba shop. Yeah, I was reflecting on like why that's just like a thing for us. But I think it's more of a, I guess besides just the physical aspects of it being like, it's more of a drink. So it goes on easier and it has a small,
Hmm.
chewy tapioca pearls in it rather than like a super heavy like mousse or even ice cream. It feels lighter even when you're full. But the sweetness of it can always just act as like a nice finisher and kind of like
Hmm.
rinse down of whatever you're eating prior or previously, and it gives you a satisfying finish. But the appeal might also be psychological when something is as fun and delicious to consume and eat, and especially shared with if you have those shared memories with like people you love and everything, and have those good moments. You can always find a little extra space for it. So that's what I think. Like, because for us, it was kind of. I think after we were done, like getting boba was like an additional excursion for us to like spend a little extra time together and just have like a little
Hmm.
bit more fun. Yeah. So I don't know what your relationship with boba is, but I kind of wanted to ask like what you, yeah, why do you
Okay.
think it's always like an extra like plus one
Yeah.
to meals and to your just, yeah, to your day?
Yeah. I'm a big boba plus one guy. For sure. For sure. That was something where, like you said, after any meal, I'm game to just throw on a boba on top of it. I remember after any time we would do Korean barbecue, sikdorak or gin, that was always something that I was always pushing for. I was like, hey, anyone want to go get boba? Like completely stuffed. All you can eat Korean
Yeah.
barbecue, all you can eat
The
meat.
tasty glory days too. The
Yep.
tasty was
Oh, yep.
bomb back in the, yeah.
Yep.
It's not the same, I don't
Exactly.
think. Yeah.
No,
But
no, no, no. Yeah, the tasty and I mean, but even like now, if we were to hit a Korean barbecue, I'm instantly trying to look, hey, anyone want to go get some boba and stuff. And
yeah.
um I'm not too sure why, but it is one of those things that, like you said, it feels like there's always room for it. Like no matter how much you ate, it's a liquid, you get like something solid. So it feels like kind of like an added meal. But then the sweetness with the dessert is it kind of like is the best finisher. And this this was always something that I thought. I don't know if there's any science behind that. This is just what I told myself to make it make sense for me.
Like
But
health wise or just in
um
general?
not as maybe a little bit of health wise, but just like to make it make sense of why whenever I'm like stuffed, I can still have room for boba. Because I don't know about you, because like, even after the Korean barbecue and like my stomach just man, I'm so
You're
stuffed, it's like
bloated. You're
uncomfortable.
like, yeah.
After the boba, I feel almost it's like reset, like where it's at least settled down or
Mm.
something. And I always had this feeling or maybe just like a theory that it had to do with the tea part of it
Mm.
because like black tea has like
D-
benefits on gut health,
Digestive like
digestion. Yep.
benefits and
Hmm.
properties. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So I figured like maybe that was something where the tea almost
Probably.
helps to like digest and resettle or something. I don't know if that actually is a thing because I know like for Chinese food, the black tea that they serve actually has those types of benefits, but I'm not too
Mm.
sure about the milk tea or what. I don't know if if it actually does that, but it was always something I would tell myself psychologically to make it make sense for me. also
I
make it
mean,
make sense for why I'm paying an extra $5 after buying
no,
Korean
yeah,
barbecue.
bro. No, that totally makes sense. And I don't know if it's tradition. I know it's like English breakfast tea, start off with that. But in
Mhm.
Asian cultures, like, is it common practice to finish like your meal with the tea?
Well, so
Something.
I know at least Hawaiian Chinese food, they always kind of go through the tea. And at least for my family, it was always something that once we're, because especially like Chinese food in Hawaii, it's really filling,
Salty.
fatty, salty. And so the tea at the end almost really helps you just rest and digest. So I know my family would always kind of just talk story one like for a little bit and just sip on the tea a little bit more, almost as like just like to help us settle our stomachs after a big meal.
No, you're right. Here's some, I just a quick search here. Yeah, China tea is an integral part of Chinese culture, to often serve at the end of a meal to aid digestion. Exactly what you said. Jasmine green or oolong teas are popular choices for their refreshing and calming properties. Japan green tea is commonly served after meals.
Mhm.
It is believed to help cleanse the palate, aid digestion. Same thing. Matcha is also enjoyed in traditional tea ceremonies. Yeah, it totally makes sense why you always have room. It's kind of like built into our cultures and traditions.
Yeah,
But
and
that's
it
not
makes
even,
sense why it might feel good, like a little bit too. No matter how full you are, it's like that. The milk tea always hits. Honestly, like the boba always hits
yeah,
when no matter how full you are, it always just settles in there just right.
yeah. And that's a whole nother episode you could get into. It's like just the history of boba, because I'm not even sure how
Ooh,
that started, because the trend of that blew up
blew
big.
up. Right, you remember that time where I think Tasty just came to Hawaii and like so many people would be ordering the to go or not the to go the delivery for
Yep,
tasty to Iolani. Like
that's
it was
cool.
like people would have
It's
those
me.
big cartons of just tasty for them and a bunch of their friends and everything. And I remember that was such a big thing. It was it blew up as a trend in Hawaii, probably around our eighth or ninth grade year. I remember.
And just a quick search up here. I mean, we're so lucky we have able to do this podcast in
Yeah.
an age where we have Chat GPT,
But compared to like
AI.
back in the time, like where we had to look through
Bro,
books to try
you
and
remember
find
how, like,
find
yeah,
them
like
answers,
in history class, like the way we used to take notes and like learn the fat textbooks. Like,
bro.
you have like
Because I
you have like three like fat textbooks you're carrying in your backpack.
yep,
No wonder some kids
yeah,
like have back
hurt in the
problems, bro.
back. Yeah,
No, I'm
exactly.
serious. That thing is
Huge.
like
No, they're huge.
legitimately huge. And just to open, and you go through like maybe like 10 pages like in a day, but you had to bring the book, the
Hmm.
physical copy. I think this was at the time we had iPads too.
Yeah, still yet.
Yeah.
And think about just the amount of paper on like a global scale for all the kids in
Yeah, the
school who have these
paperweight, the
huge
tree. Yeah.
textbooks. Like just think about that. That's insane. Where now,
I mean,
computer, everything
there's
could
always
be
something special
digital.
about the physical page and like having a
Totally,
book you physically
totally.
own. But yeah, there's definitely something to that. But in terms of, yeah, like
It's so much,
you curious
yeah,
about
more
something, you just look
accessible.
something up with AI.
Hmm.
It's actually crazy. Boba, also known as bubble tea or pearl milk tea, originated in Taiwan in the 1980s, actually, where tea stands started popping up in the 1980s as a way to attract business during the hot summer months. So they began experimenting by mixing different ingredients into their teas, including fruit, milk, and syrup, to create refreshing beverages. And in boba, as we know, the chewy tapioca pearls are made from tapioca starch. The idea of adding these pearls to tea is often credited to Chun Shui Tang Tea House in
Hmm.
Taichung, Taiwan. The founder, Liu Han Che, is said to have started serving cold tea after being inspired by a visit to Japan, where iced tea or iced coffee was popular. A significant moment came when there's a bunch of names here. When Lin Su Hui, the product development manager at Chung Shui Tang, poured sorry, the development manager at Chung Shui Tang poured tapioca balls from her. What? Why is it like phrased like this? From her dessert into her iced tea during a staff meeting. Wow, in 1988.
Hmm.
The combo was a hit, and soon after, boba tea became a sensation in Taiwan. And I think from
Wow.
there, it kind of blew up. But that's not even the point I kind of wanted to reflect on with this, just the history of it. But it was just kind of like, how there's always room for boba. I
Hmm.
was thinking how, you can apply this attitude to other parts of your life
Mhm.
as well, because it is good to treat yourself every once in a while. I mean, yeah, like if you
Mhm.
have, you know, if it's too much of everything is not great. Like if you have boba after every single meal, every single day, you're gonna see some
Yeah.
damage, or
Some
you're
bad
gonna,
results, bro.
yeah, you're gonna see it kind of affect you in a way. I think that's not great. But every once in a while, it's good to treat yourself. I feel, and even when you're satisfied, something so good that you can't skip out on, like,
Mhm.
why not go get the extra treat? Why not do the extra excursion, take the extra time to spend? I mean,
Totally.
boba's a very social thing, so like for us, it was always like additional excuse to spend more time together and hang out. But now I was wondering if you could shift this attitude toward more mundane things, like finishing a project or an edit, or if you're finishing your workout, right? Or you
Mhm.
have an option to continue with the rest of the group in the night if they wanted to go hit another spot or club, or
Mhm.
versus calling it a night. I think every once in a while it could be beneficial to make that one more hour push, like one last set to
Yeah.
failure. If you
Yeah.
can think about it like, oh, there's always room for boba, or there's always room for that extra. I think one more sent to the next activity or spot. You never know what a little extra something can
Mhm.
give you in return, and an experience you can gain, or something you can find, something to be realized from that. So I think maybe, I don't know, I was wondering if I could, yeah, shift that like mindset to other things that may be less exciting, but sometimes, if you're still inspired or in that flow state, and you just, why not do a little extra, and
Yeah.
then you can realize gains exponentially, I feel, just having that attitude. So that's something I, yeah, kind of reflected on in terms of boba. And I don't know if it totally makes sense, because it's different, because you think of boba, it's like it's a sweet treat and you're excited to have a little extra time and space for it. But if you can somehow shift your mindset to like think about that with things that you find, I guess, mundane, or takes a long time to just get through during your day, I think that could help you push over the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I do. I love that. I love that. Like that whole like mindset shift can be super beneficial to, like you said, the mundane, the maybe the things that you feel like you have to push through and stuff. But that almost like that little mindset shift of rewording it, you can even like maybe reword it to be like, oh, I'm going to treat myself a little bit today. I'm going to get another set in. I'm going to do one more
Yeah.
set. I'm going to do a set to feel. I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to treat
Yeah.
myself. And stuff like
Yeah. Yeah.
even almost rewording it in your own head. I think that could be super beneficial just on an individual standpoint. But then also like on a collaborative friendship, partnership type of space as well. I think the whole thing that you were talking about, how it's the cool thing with boba is it's almost the another opportunity to just like extend the time together a little bit longer. It's like
Mhm.
one more activity that's like added on. It's like an add-on to the time that you spend with people and stuff. And I think it's always cool because like for me, the people who kind of like join that boba outing, you almost feel like you get a little bit closer with them because everyone is like, okay, I just want to spend a little bit more time with this group and
Yeah.
everything. And it goes a long way. It builds like a lot more of a level of
it's kind of
trust
it's
and
kind of like the
connection
after
and stuff.
hours. It's like saying after hours.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. Yeah,
the
totally.
ones who really
Totally.
want to like put it
Yeah,
in,
who's
really
really
do.
like
Yeah.
who's yeah, we like and in this it's really just like putting it into a friendship, connection and everything, but the fact that they're staying after the time that was originally planned to go get boba, that says something.
It does.
It's
Yeah.
it's meaningful. And but I can like remember some very memorable and awesome times with like me and you getting boba and everything. I remember there was like one time with Chala and Troy or something
Hmm.
where it was me, you, Chala and Troy at Tasty, and I remember it was one of the more funnier nights of my life where we were just cracking up in the middle of Tasty and everything. And
Yeah. Some of the best, yeah, memories and moments
mhm,
was just because we made the decision to all hang out after, or just,
mhm.
yeah, stay during the after hours, doing the extra
Yeah.
credit. Yeah.
It reminds me of a lot of the things that me and you do. I feel we've kind of built like that's part of our relationship almost, is that aspect of extending the time as long as we can to
Yeah.
like just like see how much more time we can spend together. I remember we told this story on the pod recently. Last one of the last days that we spent in Hawaii before we left for college, we had a full day at North Shore and everything, like dead tired, like riding waves, getting pounded, and everyone was dead tired after that. But I remember me and you were just, hey, you wanna catch the sunset? And it was literally just me and you who were like, dude, I'm down and stuff. And we
Yeah.
ended up driving all the way to the other side of the island just to catch the sunset. And I never like regret times like that where you just
No.
push it a little bit more and
Yeah,
extend it
because
a
you
little
never
bit
know
more.
what you can find, and yeah, never know
Hmm.
what you'll stumble upon. In fact, like I know I always bring this up, but the where this conversation of the idea of this like show or like podcast even started was because we extended. Maybe I didn't really have
Hmm.
a choice because you're in my ride back, but from Troy's bachelor house in like near the North Shore, like and it was because had to stay after, or we stayed after because we wanted to buy
Hmm.
some more time. But I was down, but it was just like us two
Hmm.
spending like additional time on the beach out there, where the whole conversation for this happened, really. And if it wasn't
Exactly,
for us
bro.
like extending the time or staying a little after, I don't know. I probably would have
I
brought it
don't
up sometime or another, but I don't think it would have kickstarted as quickly or just
totally.
got the gears turning as much.
Because, like,
Yeah.
Brad, like you said, us like sitting there on that beach out on North Shore, hearing the sound of the waves and everything, it really built up momentum to one, want to make it happen. Two, I think we were both like fired up after talking on the beach
Hmm.
about it to like really start to piece together. I think I soon after bought like a mic and everything and really trying to make it something really serious.
It
And
just
yeah,
sounded
like,
like fun too, like something
yeah,
fun to do. So like,
exactly.
yeah,
And it came from that time of just maybe extending it a little bit longer than, other people were willing to do. Everyone else like went home and stuff, and it was
yeah.
just you and I just sitting there, and we're like, I mean, dude, we're out on the North Shore. We want to enjoy it like a little bit longer before having to head back. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, another example being like us at the end of a night, like and then I remember a lot of times in your car, we'd try to extend just
oh
the
yeah,
karaoke sessions like as late as
yeah,
possible until we're like
yeah.
dead exhausted.
Me, you, and
Um,
Lev, bro. That was a classic summer night type of energy. Like
yeah, just driving
extending it
around
as
like
late as we could.
before getting dropped off. Yeah, dropping each other off, just driving around, like yeah,
Hmm.
singing songs. But yeah,
Hmm.
those are some of the best memories and moments I feel. So
Hmm.
I
And
think there's some type of maybe something to break down from that and kind of think about, yeah, just the attitude to push one
hmm.
more, or get that extra treat, or to go one more, really,
Hmm.
because you never know what benefits can come from it.
A lot of times it's like the most rewarding stuff or come from when you push a little bit more than you maybe were at first expecting or maybe you feel comfortable with. It's like in that process of pushing beyond maybe your bound like what you thought were your boundaries of what you can do,
Or
that a
being
lot of
comfortable,
time,
your comfortability,
yeah,
really.
your
Yeah.
comfort level really, yeah.
Yeah.
And pushing beyond that, it's yeah, that's where you really get to almost like realize too like what you can achieve and what you are capable of is through that process of pushing a little bit more.
Yeah. And it's okay to
Yeah,
realize something like, oh, maybe I don't like this. Like,
exactly,
to learn
yeah,
something from it too. Be
totally.
like, okay, maybe this is not a good idea. Because then at least you know.
Hmm.
But then
Hmm.
if you don't push past it like a little bit, if you don't test the limits of your stomach, you
Exactly,
don't know
yeah.
how much you can
we we've had a lot of
put
learning
down.
experiences probably too from pushing a little bit more or a little
Mhm.
bit too much with like whatever it be and be like, okay, that ain't it, and
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah, it's like at worst it'll be like a learning experience of that wasn't necessarily a good idea, especially when we were kids. We probably pushed a little bit too far in certain things with, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe staying out a little too late or pushing the
Like
um
drugs. Just kidding.
But no, you definitely have like learning experiences of like, you know, what is like you kind of like learn a little bit of yourself for sure, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah. So that's kind of what I was reflecting on. It's just kind of a common reminder. Just if you can remind yourself and point the attitude of, yeah, there's always room. There's always extra room for Boba. I'm trying to
Dude, I
apply
love
that to my
that.
own life, like in different ways. So we'll see. But I think it could be beneficial to your everyday life for sure.
Yeah, dude, I love
Yeah.
that saying. Almost like either treat yourself or I can squeeze in boba, you know, and stuff. But it could apply to doing one more
Yeah.
set, doing one more rep, you know.
Yeah.
I could squeeze in boba. I could squeeze in boba.
Yeah. There's always extra space for Boba.
There's always extra space for boba. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. I love that. I love that. So on like a duo collaboration standpoint, you know, I think that's like an important thing to keep in mind is, you know, to push a little bit more with someone only leads to a stronger build. You know, I think a lot of the best duos in the history probably pushed a little bit more than they were willing to at times,
Hmm.
to build that trust, to build that chemistry and connection between each other.
Hmm.
And so, you know, I think that metaphor is really just representative of a strong aspect of what makes some of the best duos is that extra time. You know, and it might be something that people don't talk enough about with collaborations. They always talk about, oh, like the chemistry and the understanding between the two people, but that takes time, that takes work, you know. So they
Hmm.
don't really talk about that, all the hours of build up and preparation that went into that duo just working together on a unison standpoint. But
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
Because it takes two to show up as well. You can't go get
Mhm.
extra Boba if like the other person. I mean, you can by yourself and do that,
Yeah.
but like especially when you're talking about partnerships like duos, um,
Mhm.
like one can't, both have to show up to the
Mhm.
Boba spot, or both have to,
Mhm.
want
Mhm.
the have the drive to do it and like
Do
spend that
it.
extra time
Yes.
together.
Spend the
So
extra
it
time, maybe
does
spend a little
prove
extra
on,
money,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know? Yeah. 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 If you guys have any memories of, and when I say you guys, like I'm talking about the audience, if you, the audience, have any memories or instances where you and your own collaborations or partners maybe pushed a little bit more and spent a little extra time together and it
took that
led
extra
to,
time, took the extra space to get that
mhm,
Boba, like a
yep,
moment
you
where
know, yeah,
you had that, where you pushed a little more to get that Boba. Like, yeah, we'd
yeah.
love to hear what experience it was for you, as well as like what you took away from it and what you've learned.
Exactly.
But anyway,
Yeah.
sorry for cutting you off
No, no,
there.
no, 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 no. But yeah, no, exactly. Like we would love to hear just like the ways like it like has maybe built a stronger connection, and it also maybe just good to like hear some activities that people do to, you know, push each other a little bit more and push out each other out of each other's comfort zones and stuff. So we would love to hear all that from you guys in the comment section. Per the usual, you know, if you guys have been enjoying the podcast, like, subscribe, you know, follow us so you guys can kind of just stay up to date. And yeah,
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you stuck this long, thank you, mom, dad.
thank you, mom.
Maybe I convinced my sister to check it out at this point.
Maybe our
Um,
sisters are tuned in for this one.
yeah, so yeah, maybe you can take something away from. Nah, they're not gonna listen to us, our sisters. But yeah, everyone just remember, life is always better as a duo, and there's always a little extra space for Boba.
Always a little extra space. Treat yourself. Treat yourself this week, y'all. Treat yourself.